Hello YouTube, thank you for watching today. I'm going to be installing a new Odyssey battery in my 2016 4Runner Trail Edition. I've had this battery since 2019 and it has been a great battery. I'll go over some of the details here in a few minutes. I am replacing it with another Odyssey AGM battery. We're going to go through that process now. The battery's been fine, however I have noticed it's been a little bit slower starting. I like to be proactive in anything that I do with my 4Runner or any of my vehicles. So today's that day. We're going to pop a new battery in. I purchased a new battery from Napa. Last time I ordered it directly from Odyssey, and it was fine, but it took a little bit longer. This time, Black Friday deal, I was able to pick up an Odyssey battery with a pretty good discount, and they were excellent getting it in for me. So I was really happy with that service that I received from them. So let's jump into it. Before we remove the battery, I'm going to go ahead and test the battery. I'm going to remove our terminal covers. I'm going to hook on my tester here. This is going to show us state of health and also the cold cranking amps that are left in the battery. So I'm going to select standard test, go down to my AGM, put in the cold cranking amps that it was originally rated at, which is 850. And we're going to let this run. And here we can see that our state of health, or the life left of the battery, is at 14%, and it's fully charged at this point. So that's all that's left in it. That tells me it's time. I want to go ahead and get this replaced. I've already picked up a new battery from Napa, so let's get this installed. Now I am going to plug in my memory saver here using my EcoFlow. Now once plugged in, I'm going to plug this into the OBD2 port under the dash. Next, using a 10mm, I'm going to remove the battery hold down. This is an upgraded hold down from Agency 6. Be careful not to drop the small nuts, and remove the hold down and set it aside with the nuts, and there's washers for each of the nuts as well. I also removed the tie down rod, which pulls out from below the tray, just so it's out of the way and you can set it aside. Next, I'm going to remove the negative terminal. And I use socks to cover the terminals, just something I've always done in the past. Keeps it isolated so I don't inadvertently touch something and short it out. So I covered that with an old sock. Now we're going to remove the positive terminal, again a 10mm. We're going to put a sock over that terminal as well. Now we're going to lift the battery out. You can see I do have several hands. I did have some help here today. My dad was in town and I decided to put him to work and come help with this job. Now we're going to repeat the process, put the new battery in. I did put the jacket around it. I like to keep it insulated as much as I can in that hot engine bay. Readjust it here so it fits in the tray and the jacket fits down back around it. Now we're going to reinstall the terminal. Pull that plastic cap off. I'm going to put the positive back on, tighten this back down. It's a 10mm. Pull that sock off and install that on the negative terminal. Tighten it down. Again with that 10mm. Now before you go ahead and reinstall the battery hold down, let's put the covers back on. Pull those back up, pop them on, and I installed a negative terminal cover as well just for extra safety, even though it's not needed. Go ahead and pop in the rod, which hooks in the very bottom of the tray. And I'm going to reinstall the battery hold down, line it up. Put the washer back on, and then install that small nut. Again, 10mm. Everything is a 10mm, so it makes it really easy to do this job. I'm going to hand tighten it first, just so that it's holding the rod in place. And then I'll use my ratchet to go ahead and tighten it down. Now I'm going to test it again. Now that we've installed the new battery, I've unhooked that battery saver, so it's no longer influencing any of the readings here. We'll let this run. This is still 850 cold cranking amps, and here we see 100% state of life, and cold cranking amps are amazing on that, over 1200 cold cranking amps, and I know it's a new battery, so I'll test that again after I've driven it a little while. I'll put those battery covers back on, and we're going to go start it up. I do want to mention that I have a voltage booster, the ArcLight voltage booster, which I believe is out of production now. I installed that voltage booster about 2 years after I installed the original AGM Odyssey battery. And I think from a lot of what I've read, some of the damage that I had on the battery was from not having that installed for those first 2 years, which lost some of the capacity. Now the battery was still starting, but I did notice it was starting to get a little weaker, which is why I went ahead and changed this out. There's a lot about this on the 4Runner forums, so take a look at that if you're interested in upgrading to an AGM battery. It's recommended by a lot of what I've read, and I definitely can see that when I check my scan gauge, and I can see it's a higher voltage than what it is when the booster is off, which I'll show you here in just a moment. So let's go start this up. All right, it starts right up, so that's good. Let it warm up, we'll back out of here. So right now, 14.6 volts. And that battery's fully charged. I know without the booster, it sits somewhere around 14.2. So let's back out. All right, so we're back. Went for a quick ride. It's fluctuating somewhere 14.5, 14.6, 14.4. So the booster's doing its job. Battery's fully charged, so I know it's not needing to pump out a lot of juice right now. So I'm happy with this. Hopefully this video was helpful. The last battery lasted since 2019, so I'm hoping to get a little bit longer out of it this time. Thank you for watching. I hope that you like and subscribe.